I'm sure that there are many among you this morning who may remember Billy Graham. Usually, just the mention of his name would need no explanation. Everyone knew him to be the great American evangelist who would gather thousands upon thousands of people to hear him and offer themselves to the Lord. He came to this country, and I heard him speak personally in Brighton. He once said, "Moral law is more than a test. It is for man's own good. Every law that God has given has been for man's benefit. If man breaks it, he is hurting himself." This statement encapsulates well the principle that God's laws are unchanging because they are perfect. Jesus in today's gospel is saying the same thing. If God's law is perfect, then no one can set it aside, and nothing in his ministry was intended to replace God's stated will for humanity in the Old Testament. In the New Testament, however, all four Gospels are filled with examples of how human nature seeks to set it aside or circumvent the spirit of God's law, whilst appearing to follow the letter. It's a cunning device. One thinks of this in today's look back at slavery and how otherwise good men who did great works and service for their country, for charities and for churches, and the society in which they lived, could not see the evils of abusing and exploiting just one section of humanity based on colour or ethnic origin. The Pharisees, scribes and teachers of the law of Jesus' time make great show of their orthodoxy in following the law and the various complex interpretations they made of it, while all the time deceitfully frustrating its spirit. And they set themselves up to judge others by that law. For the most part, Christians try to be decent people and to live their lives according to gospel values. The problem starts when we judge others, when we judge someone else to be a transgressor. It's all too easy to jump to condemnation when we regard ourselves as being somehow on the virtuous side and all other people as being sinners. It's a risky stance, as we are all sinners before God and we are all forgiven by his grace. Perhaps the effects of Billy Graham's preaching has been forgotten in America and also here. Let us as a nation take to heart what judging and discrimination can do, either by the state or in mob rule. Jesus wisely warned his followers not to set themselves up as judges. He also said, "Let him who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her."